and I'm delighted to start this session by introducing Bernard Ducoff for those who haven't met him yet. He's a dear friend and a very good partner to the PUMed organization. We have had the chance of utilizing his competence on a number of occasions very successfully. So without any further delay, I'd like to leave the floor, to give the floor back to Bernard and to start this session, which I'm sure will be amazing with the number of presentations that we're going to be witnessing. Bernard, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Khalil. These were really very nice words, and it's always a pleasure being with you and the PUMed group. Indeed, we have a lot of presentations today. That was the idea, actually, really to say, okay, short presentations, but a lot of input from the membership. As we have already seen in the previous meeting on the award ceremony, there are so many things going on and so many things to share in particular. And we just said, okay, let's take the time, let's focus on many different things, let's have a short discussion on those things, and let's benefit everybody as much as possible from the content that is shared. The topic today is customers first, and as we all know, customers have very clear demands when it comes to deliveries. They want convenience, they want quality, they want choice, of course. We also know that the delivery market is very, very competitive today. Postal companies need to address those demands that are voiced by the customers in order to stay in this competitive market healthy, if you want, from a business point of view. One success factor in all of this is, of course, the last mile. And this is really where postal operators try to increase customer experience, offer choice, PUDO solutions, as an example, guarantee a maximum delivery success, a first-time delivery success. Another success factor is certainly the side of optimized route and increasing the efficiency and profitability in that area, increasing timely deliveries, higher quality when it comes to deliveries. And these elements are all important, in particular when we think about urban centers today. Urban areas are crucial and are really challenging for most postal and logistics companies. There they face biggest problems, biggest issues with increasing traffic, with also increasing pollutions and all the other things that come around, which we partly have already discussed today. Therefore, we decided let's make today the topic customers first and how to succeed with the customer first strategy, focusing on those topics that I just mentioned. Last mile and PUDO solutions, route optimizations, and how to cope with the challenges and offering new solutions when it comes to urban logistics. As you all know, we have sent out a questionnaire, and thanks to all of those that answered the questionnaire. The idea was really to get feedback from you, to get views on how or what solutions are out there that are interesting for this kind of event, which should be shared. And we have then, based on the feedback that we have received, shaped this program. Let's get started. Let's start with the first session. And the first session is really going to be now, as I said before, last mile and PUDO solutions, in which we are going to have three short presentations. And the first speaker, who I would like to invite now to take the floor, is Massimiliano De Sani. He's the head of innovation of operating models, mail communication and logistics at Posta Italiana. Massimiliano, you are here, you're ready?
Yeah, I'm ready. Hi, Ben.
And you're sharing your screen. I see that it's starting. Perfect, we can see the first slide, please.
Okay. Hello, everybody. I'm Massimiliano De Masi. I'm the head of Innovation Mail and Parcel Department at Posta Italiana. In the Post and Logistics Service segment, we have successfully reinterpreted our original mission in a modern life, investing to keep our infrastructure abreast of the time, to meet the changing needs of our customers and to develop innovative solutions. In particular, we are rolling out a new joint delivery model designed to evolve our delivery service in line with the e-commerce growth. Here we try to sketch supply chain assets and key elements like fleet with more or less 30,000 vehicles, or 25 between sorting and operations center, air and road network with 9 air are operated every day. More than 1,500 delivery center and physical network with postman and 13,000 post office. Last year, the spread of the e-commerce has driven major growth in the parcel and delivery market. This can be seen above all in our express courier logistics and parcel which has been expanding constantly in terms of volume, revenue, and has now become a strategic to our growth. More than one parcel out of 3 in the e-commerce segment in Italy is delivered by Poste Italiane. So, to respond to the challenge and the complexity of the market, we have built a logistics ecosystem for the supervision of each component of the logistics chain. We believe that one success factor will be the last mile itself, where postal operator can increase customer experience, offer choice, for example, PUDO solution, and guarantee maximum delivery success. In this context, Poste Italiane has also signed a framework collaboration agreement with the Italian Tobacconists Federation, which provides for tobacconists operating as a pickup point for mail and parcel. In addition, a partnership with innovative companies in the field of logistics, above the line haul network and last mile delivery, were finalized last year. The first one named Standard, and the second one named Milkman. Now I would like to show an overview of the delivery solution proposed by Poste Italiane. The first one is Poste Italiane Classic and Physical Network, the national territory, with return drop-off service, 13,000 post office. And instead, the second level is the innovative network named Punto Poste. Is the new Poste Italiane network for collection of the e-commerce, parcel, the shipment of return, and the dispatch of prepaid shipment. The main strengths are extending opening hour 24 hours for 7 days a week. Model the fast in and fast out. Partnership with tobacconists, 10,000 tobacconist point for PUDO solution. 350 lockers are installed. Poste Italiane has also been working with Milkman, a home delivery startup in Italy solution, which is helping the group improve e-commerce customer experience by providing more convenient delivery and improve the transaction process. blending new technology with the Poste Italiane network, the first scheduled delivery service have been rolled out in Rome, Milan, and Turin, and they will be extended to other cities across Italy during this year. Here I have some flashes on the customer experience and the interaction between client and logistics operator about choice of the schedule delivery, logistics ATA, the possibility for the customer to change address, proof of delivery, reschedule deliveries. Compared to the classical delivery model, we believe that this logistics ecosystem that I've described and the innovative solution, such as the startup or standard joint venture, will increase and improve the customer experience. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much for that. Let's have the three presentations first, and then we can have a short discussion. Let's do it this way. I would like to invite now the second speaker from the session to take the floor. This is Ahmed Kada, who is going to make the presentation for Post Maroc. Are you there? Are you ready?
Yes, I am here. I just try to share my presentation.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry. Oh. Now what is application?
Your share screen. Okay.
It's okay or not yet?
No, not yet.
Not yet.
You have to go on share screen, but if you want, I can share it for you. But
you can share it for me if it is okay, in order to not lose more time. Okay, thanks.
It's fine?
It's fine, okay.
Mm-hmm. Okay. You just tell me when I shall click, okay?
Okay, thank you. So thanks, dear Bernard, to give me the floor. And I hope that all of my colleagues here are well and safe in this particular period. I am very pleased to take a part of this interesting webinar in order to present the experience of Morocco Post regarding its solution for optimizing the last mile delivery for pickup and drop off. If we can go to the next slide, please. The next. In this slide, we can illustrate some key figures regarding Morocco Post. I will show some details. We are more than 8,050 employees, and we can process more than 200 million miles and small package per year. Also, we have branches, a subsidiary in the bank. It is the first bank in Morocco regarding the number of clients, and it processes more than 6 million bank accounts. Regarding our infrastructure, we have more than 1,800 branches. And also more over 20 mobile post offices, 2 logistics warehouse, and 10 logistic platforms from the transport and processing. If you can go to the next slide, please. Regarding the approach of Morocco Post in developing for development of new solutions regarding the customers is based on improvement of the business model to find the way to meet customers' needs. So we are in a process for reinventing the postal activity by progressive approach, based firstly by promoting innovation policies, practice and solution, developing postal services operating under the universal service obligation, based in flexibility, reach and proximity, also by taking in account the customer's needs and being present on social media. Like all the postal operator, we have 4 activities. We have mail, parcel logistics, digital post, and the post. And our process for postal digital transformation is based to find solution and develop solution for our customer in B2B, B2C, C2C, and C2B. Next slide, please. Regarding the mail activity, last mile delivery solution, we have we can underline some solution that we have developed recently, like smart and virtual PPO box platform is to enable customers' mobile and on or website interaction with delivery services. So in this platform, the customer will be able to interact with postal services through the personal environment on the website or mobile application. To the customer, we have the choice, for example, to be delivered at home, to be delivered in classical post office, etc. To also to be delivered to an intelligent PPO smart locker and benefit from more extended deliveries code 7 day per week and more than 16 hours by day. The second solution is addressing solution for delivery. So Postmark has already launched the project set up for geocoding address points affected to the delivery route optimization and supply chain management. The goal is to improve the quality of services and take advantage of mobile technology solution implemented in the PDA for online delivery services to track and trace the shipments. It consists of collecting geocoding address points in order to manage and optimize the delivery road. The objective is to improve the quality of delivery and take advantage of mobile technology solution embedded in the PDF to facilitate navigation, delivery, and instant feedback to the sender and the receiver. The third solution is regarding the modernizing the fleet of delivery. Recently, Post Morocco and PESA Group signed an agreement in Casablanca to develop and adapt a version of 225 Citroën Ami as a 100% electric car for urban postal delivery. If we can go to the next slide, please. In this slide, we show the roadmap of development of the mail delivery solution existing and the target for the short and the long term. As we can say here, I will not go into the details. For example, now we just launched the PPOX intelligent and delivery counter and the postman optimization route. Next slide, please. Regarding the parcel and logistic activity, if you can go to the next slide. Here we have all services regarding our logistic activity in the last mile delivery. We have one national offer regarding with the braid, what we called Amana, and also via our subsidiary SDTM, but it is specialized in the logistics and the item and not postal items, and also by regarding the international level, like express international shipments are handled by our subsidiary MS Chronopost. Also, Amana also ensure economical and rapid delivery of a parcel through the Post Coli and Amana International offer. Regarding the national offer for shipment, the parcel weighting is less than 31 kilograms and not forma. It is taken by SDTM. If we can go to the next slide, please. Here we can expose several solutions given by our activity for postal logistics activity. Like SMS to receiver is based to get notifications sent to the customer automatically for each status of a parcel shipment. Also, mobility solution for our postman. All our postman is equipped with mobility solution through PDA mobile terminal, which are an essential tool for providing a real-time at last mile tracking. Also, we have a mobile application called My Amana. It is regarding the digitalization of shipping process, and we have a wide range of functions like shipment track and trace, tariff simulator tools, GPS geolocation of our product Amana and Post Bank branch, and pickup point, their address, and where we can find this point. Also, the point of sale end-to-end solution get in touch with the point of sale. Also, we can also underline our solution for phone call. It permits to make the phone call to receiver for delivery appointments in case of the unavailability or incomplete or incorrect addresses. The goal is to reduce the parcel return rate. Also, finally, we can underline the pickup point. It is a solution that we have deployed under cooperation with Chronopost and the Pickup France. The customer, it permits that the customer can pick up his parcel from the convenience store over the weather period of the time. If we can go to the next slide, please. Also, for the future, we have some planned solution that we are now under developing regarding the last mile, like the customer will receive the time delivery notification. Also, the customer can book available time slot for delivery. Also, it will permit the customer to choose new delivery condition, like second delivery addresses in the same city and or the second name of receiver. And the last, it is our payment mean, like ATM and mobile payments, which allow to the customer to pay for their CRBT cash on delivery throughout several payments mean given by our subsidiary bank, using bank cards, application wallet, cash, or using the customer package. Next slide, please. Thank you very much. I hope that I was very clear for all participants.
Thank you very much for that. Now let's turn to our last speaker in that session, which is a speaker not from the PUMed group, but we are very happy to have here also two outside speakers today who can share their experience and expertise in this area. I would now like to invite Kevin Seller. He is the Vice President of Sales of Escher Group to share his screen and his views on this topic. Please, Kevin. We can see your screen, we can see the first slide, but we can't hear you yet, Kevin.
Sorry about that. Hopefully you can hear me now.
Yes, yes, we can hear you now.
Sorry, I managed to share the screen without unmuting and couldn't work out how to unmute then, so apologies. Thanks, Bernard. Just wanted to very quickly talk about last mile and PUDO, and as you said, what I'd like to give is sort of some of the experiences we're seeing around the world at the moment. I think it's already been mentioned, but it's very much about the customer now, and I think it's great we are talking about the customer and putting them at the centre of everything we do. I think one of the challenges we have in the post is actually how do we make sure that we meet the customer demand, but at the same time, we don't have maximum capacity on all of the time. So we have the ability to flex up and down in terms of our service offering to customers. So everything we do needs to take account of the customer, and what's happening globally, as we've seen, is that everything is about digital first, and some of that's been driven by the pandemic. So people really don't want face-to-face contact as much as they used to, and where they can't do digital, they want to, again, as much as possible, do a self-service option. But it's all about 24/7 on all the time, and it's I want it and I want it now. I don't want to wait. And what that really means is that we have to develop channels which are entirely frictionless, so I can go from digital to physical, and everything is known about me, and it's a continuous journey. And it also has to be about convenience. So I don't really want to go out of my way to do a transaction and go and post something or pick something up. I want it to be as part of another journey I'm doing, such as when I'm going to get my groceries. And I think that's the challenge we all have. And what I want to really look at some of the PUDO options that are available in terms of meeting some of that demand. So there are alternatives to home delivery. For example, we can look at retail partnerships. We can have self-service options, smart lockers, pop-up stores in malls, and use the traditional franchise network. And the question is really which one's the best? And the answer is really simple. They're all equally valid. Some of them have benefits, some of them have disadvantages. So smart lockers typically tend to have higher fixed costs. Retail partnerships, pop-up stores tend to have much more of a variable cost option. But I think the retail partnership is changing, and I think some of that is being driven by technology. So previously, the third-party outlets was that you would dedicate space to the post office, you would provide IT, and the retailer would provide the staff and the space. But that's changed because housing developed, and what Escher is developing is what we've called ePOS integration, third-party POS. So that's where you can do really simple transactions, and you do it on the retailer's own point of sale system. So what it means is open up post offices really quickly and easily, low cost, no IT cost to bear. Actually, that's all picked up by the retailer. And it means that you can do simple transactions like picking up parcels, dropping off parcels, and it means that there's less training requirement for the retail operator as well. And also that means that in some places we can have pop-up stores. And the great advantage of pop-up stores is that they can cater for seasonal demands such as Christmas and other festive holidays and so on. And they can also take and hold them for a longer period of time. So it's all about giving flexibility and customer choice. But I just wanted to briefly touch on how we can improve the last mile as well. And I think it was just touched on slightly by the last speaker. What we're looking at is how do we actually we've already got, which is primarily around the postman. So everybody's got postmen going to just about every house around the country. So to maintain post offices in small rural areas because of universal service obligation. So is there a way that we can bring those two together, and rather than have to have fixed post offices, perhaps use those postmen with modern technology to carry out a number of transactions actually on the doorstep, which is convenient for the customer and means that potentially we can lose some of our loss-making smaller rural post offices. And I think the key thing for me is this is all about customer, as we said before. So customer centricity is absolutely key. It's got to be seamless. We need to have journeys which can start online, finish in a physical environment, but we've got to be able to see that journey from end to end, and the customer must see it as entirely seamless. And I think that's absolutely the key, that we keep the customer at the heart of everything and we ensure that we deliver the service they want. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Kevin. I think what we really have seen here in these presentations, and also Kevin, you mentioned it a couple of times here, it's really the customer that must be in the center of everything. Now, when we look at last mile solutions, where there's really now the contact with the customer, where there's created this convenience for the customer through a locker, through other access points, what would you say, and I'm asking the three speakers here, what are probably the key solutions, the must-haves to create this unique customer experience today that also should create a competitive advantage in the market? What are the challenges to get there? What are your views on that?
So if I start, my views are really simple. It's about convenience and accessibility. We've just got to make sure we start to give the customer the option of accessing our services when it suits them, but also when they're doing other things. So I don't want to go to one shop and then go to a post office. I want to just do everything in one stop. And I think increasingly retail networks have a key role to play in this. And we're already talking to a number of retailers who see big opportunity in this space by providing that convenience, because customers are going to them anyway. And it's almost a reversal of what used to happen with people going to the post office and the post office being attractive to retailers because of the footfall. It's now almost gone full circle, where actually the to the retailer, they see this as just an added service to the customer, but the customer sees this as added convenience.
Mm-hmm. The other two speakers, do you have also a view on that?
Okay.
Massimiliano, for example.
Yes. As you know, all time we say the customers, the client is the king, but he should be the king not by saying the word, but by all the services that we should offer to the customer, and he should feel that he is king by all services that we can offer to the customers. Like the right word should be with the customer, not but we can do. So we can follow the needs and be not just to react, but anticipate the future needs of the client regarding this emergence of digital transformation, and also this, as you know, the post-COVID we have learned a lot about post-COVID, because the markets have changed, and the postal operator, and not only the postal operator, all the operators should be more reactive and should have the capacity and the ability to react to the market speedily. Thanks.
Massimiliano,
Yeah,
what is your view?
We have more positive feedback from the customer. Above all, we use also the some touch point like social network. For example, the feedback that give our customer from Facebook that are solution for Post Italiani is great.
Okay.
Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you very much. Let's move to the next session. We are here in a good discussion. We are here really on getting a lot of input. In our next session, we have three speakers. Again, we have Ela Selik from Turkish Post. We have Diana Nurala from Liban Post, and we have Robert Dorendorf from Graphmasters. We start with Ela Selik, and she pre-recorded her presentation. So this is something that I'm going to share for you now. Just give me 1 second. I have to open it, and then we can get started. If I just this one here. Okay, so
Turkey spans a large geographical area. It's some
sorry, my fault. I have to share it again. So I have to wait until it pops up, and I clicked too soon. Okay. Can you see the screen already? Can you see the first slide?
Yes.
Okay, that's good.
Yes, yes.
So I sorry.
Sometimes not very easy to handle of this kind of big potential country. PTT Corporation has the widest postal network with post offices over 5,000 and nearly 14,000 delivery areas. We are aware that we should act promptly and effectively in dealing with customer complaints and also meet the expectation of customers. We are evaluating the complaints received via call centers and info in our website according to the item type and claim reasons, always identifying the effects on our customers of everything we do, providing the levels of quality of service, security and reliability which our customers demand. To increase the quality of service and ensure the security of items, there are some software applications used. So in this respect, postal route optimization program was designed. All the routes can be visible through our postal optimization system. On this system, all the departure and arrival time of trucks and airlines, as well as from posting to delivery, can be seen by our colleagues in the related transportation unit. Because if you want to monitor and control all over this huge organization, it should be visible so as to detect where the bottlenecks are arising and to take an action quickly. For that purpose, information such as each workplace name, postal code, postal sender number, sorting times of dispatches as per item types, sorting times of dispatches to be forwarded, distribution times, or end time for the dispatch to be delivered in the same name is stored in the database. In the view of such information, solutions are generated by the program for letter post, EMS, and postal parcel items, and arrival times are determined as D+, taking into consideration the best method of transport between workplaces and distribution centers. Distribution, pickup, delivery, and trunking between terminals in the postal industry are challenging, and the different types of transportation involved. Parcel pickup and delivery, network trunking, and mailman distribution each have their own demands. Therefore, the type of transportation determines the needs regarding the planning type, master routes planning, network planning, dynamic routes, depending on the office and route to which you are. Some offices may provide a postal service vehicle. Accordingly, weekly and monthly reports, data analysis, and quality performance analysis, percentage of the delivery on time are requested from each registered offices. In respect of international and domestic mail services, undelivered reports can be seen on district base, and our operational units monitors from the system daily and detects the items in a detailed way, and accordingly notify the related registered offices to take preventive measures. Basically, various reports can be generated through our system. With the help of the optimization project, it is possible to generate solutions to get outputs as reports for such vendors as postal lines, flight routes and trace, sorting and distribution and delivery times of our postal workplaces, determining the best way of postal dispatch and routing policies, detecting delayed and missent dispatches, identifying postal routes for intermediary centers, finding out misapplications and taking precautions, creating data for quality control, creating data for local automation system regarding delivery transportation times, generating report that shows the departure and arrival times of the trucks together from a selected workplace to all workplaces, or just cities for letter post, EMS, and parcel. Departure, arrival, distribution times between postal centers, cut-off time report that shows the last acceptance times of the workplaces that carries out acceptance, forwarding and distribution transactions, and local workplaces within standard transportation time. In order to get reports regarding the local workplaces, post office option needs to be selected. And when we look at the process mapping automation program, it gives the best possible method of transport again, and solutions are generated by the program for letter post, EMS, postal parcel items for per legs, and arrival times are determined are G+. from end to end, taking into consideration the best shipping track between workplaces and distribution times. This is a screenshot from the program, shows all the times from posting and originating country to delivery of destination. You can see each legs. Thank you very much.
Perfect. Thank you very much. The second presentation in this session comes from Liban Post and their smart tracking solution, Diana Nurala. Again, this is a pre-recorded presentation. So again, I'm going to launch the presentation. Give me a second again. Just want to make sure that this works without any problems. So.
Hello everyone. Today I will be sharing with you Liban Post's success story with the routing technology. In the beginning, allow me to start with a small brief about our past status and how we came about. So initially, Liban Post had no visibility on its fleet, starting with lack of daily routing productivity figures to lack of GPS technology at both handheld and fleet levels, moving to unavailability of fleet management system, and finally, lack of reporting tools such as driving irregularities, out-of-route anomalies, etc. This situation called for a major reform, so we set out to put a project plan in action whereby we proceeded with 4 major steps. First, we installed GPS devices on all Liban Post fleet vehicles. Then, we acquired the smart tracking online management tool to obtain complete visibility on all fleet activities and generate the needed reports. Next, we enabled the GPS option on all fleet and letter carrier handhelds to allow for more accurate routing measurement and better control on our last mile delivery. Finally, we developed our in-house tracking system to include daily routing productivity figures. Now, we will walk you through the features of our routing management systems. First, we start with a live fleet tracking option, which offers 3 main advantages, starting with the live tracking of letter carriers through synchronization with Google Maps, moving to knowledge of the fleet and letter carrier whereabouts at all times, and ending with the monitoring of activities, supply chain planning, and the proper assignment of incoming workload. The second feature tackles the daily route monitoring, which provides information of daily route activities, thus allowing for analysis of variables, reassessment of route capacity, and ultimately, route optimization. Next, we move into the real-time alerts and notifications. This feature is extremely important and crucial to us, as it allows our administrators and dispatchers to detect ahead of time any irregularities or anomalies along the way, thus aiding in the timely rerouting of fleet in such a way so as not to affect our quality of service and accordingly our customer satisfaction. The final feature the system offers is the reporting tool, which is integral to our operations, as it allows for the collection of various types of data, ranging from commute time to waiting time, to driver violation reports, to distance covered, and finally, to daily productivity summaries. This type of information is very essential to us, as it constitutes the basis of our studies on optimizing our routes and ensuring the fastest deliveries with the highest level of quality. I conclude my presentation with the positive outcomes that these routing systems have had on our operations, and which I have summarized as follows. Number 1, real-time visibility into our fleet. Number 2, superior route planning. Number 3, improvements in time management and the maximization of our fleet utilization. Number 4, savings on operating expenses and increase in revenue. Number 5, increase in customer satisfaction and retention. And finally, an optimization in the productivity. This slide, I reached the end of my presentation. Thank you all for your kind attention.
Okay, thank you very much, Diana. Have you all heard the presentation well? The sound was okay? I had a problem with my test PC, which I have two PCs here. The test PC helps me sometimes to see whether there's a technical issue, and this time it didn't always, the sound wasn't always okay, so I thought maybe it's just on my end. Perfect. I would now like to invite our third speaker of this session. That's Robert Dorndorf. He is from GraphMasters, and he can tell us a lot about a lot of fantastic things about collaborative routing. He's working already with many postal operators and logistics companies throughout Europe. So I think, Robert, you have quite a story for us here. Please, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Bernard. Can you see my desktop now?
No, not yet. But if you want, I can share your slides.
That would be good.
Yeah, I share your slides and you just tell me whenever you want me to.
Yeah, that would be fantastic. Dear ladies, dear gentlemen, customers first. I will talk about artificial intelligence and how this will help you to deliver on this promise. But I don't make it too technical here, as I think that you are not extreme geeks, but I want to make you a little bit aware of how pervasive this technology already is. Think of international global capital markets. Today, nearly 100% of all trades are done automatically by AI-driven machines. And if you're like me, you walk through your daily life and routines and you are not aware of how many times you already use AI-driven systems. Think just on a simple query request within Google. The moment you type something in to this Google query, you're interacting with heavy artificial intelligence. And maybe another example to make you clear and sensitive on how pervasive this technology already is, when you read an online newspaper in the morning, the moment there's a displayed ad, it's specifically designed and prepared for you in 200 milliseconds. So the system decides which ad to display within 200 milliseconds based on your personal profile. And this is driven by AI. So when I talk now about AI systems on last mile, it's just a logical consequence that those kinds of technologies already get into the last mile. And the reason is simply it's too complex to be done perfectly or as good as machines can carry out those tasks. So you should not be too surprised. Next slide, please, Bernard. When I show you, you want to predict the estimated time of arrival of a shipment for your customers. A machine can this calculate within 100% accuracy. Typically, the only problem you have that you can't calculate this by the second is that there are so many different things which can happen throughout the day that there will be deviations from what the machine is calculating. But based on AI algorithms, it is feasible in most of the markets to achieve an 80% accuracy within a 30 minutes time frame over the whole day. This is done by AI. And another thing, what we found over and over across Europe in different settings, is that you can increase the productivity when you do load balancing between your different fleet vehicles. Meaning you have the one day you have maybe 150 parcels on one tour, and the next day 180, and on the other van you have this situation vice versa. So then you can balance this out based on time driven and service times on these different stops. And this, in fact, results in a 20% productivity gain. And as I heard that you're all seasoned managers in this domain, you know what a 20% increase in productivity means to your balance sheet, right? It's extreme. Another thing is what we persistently see on last mile optimizations is that you can increase the efficiency by 30%, meaning you can reduce the average distance driven per each parcel by 30%, and this can be shown consistently. But these are only the top line, these three top line things you find, but typically we find this very, very important when you have an AI system and you have a high driver turnout. So the churn rate of your employees might be 10 or 20%. For those drivers who start, will be able within 2, 3, 4 days to achieve the same performance like all the best drivers who do this job for already some years in the specific depot. And you can then also, it's logically, you can drop the return rates of the parcels by up to 30%. And of course, you will reduce not only fuel consumption, but fuel consumption related emissions. So, and these are benefits can be shown that they are realistically the results of using AI technologies on the last mile. Next slide, please. And please start. It's good. What we done is we originally don't come from logistics optimizations. The inventors have been tinkering around with algorithms to improve traffic flows. So what we do in our first domain is we help to improve traffics in cities to improve. And what we can show is that when only 10% of the drivers use a collaborative routing system, you can improve the traffic flow by more than 20%. So this technology is already used in specific areas in Germany and in Austria. Next slide, please. So this system then is in theory called solving the price of anarchy, which is for a country like Germany is a $20 billion worth solving problem to get away from the traffic jam related costs. Next slide, please. So, and this is not something we simulated for ourselves, but Bernhard asked us to show us some examples where our technology is already used. Austrian Post is using it. Hermes in Germany is using it. General Overnight is using it. It's Edeka, which is the Walmart of Germany. We work with governments in Lower Saxony. We work with Volkswagen. We work with Daimler. We work with Deutsche Messe. So our system is widely used, and I suggest if you are interested to learn more, we would be more than happy to give you a live demo of our system. And typically then the next step is that you can have an evaluation based on real data of you that then comes up with suggestions what a technology like this would be available to deliver in your networks. And last but not least, we always love to invite people to go to some of our customers to see how this is, what it means to practically work with us, what it means to work with us, what capabilities are necessary or not necessary. And to get an impression what it is, what it means to work with technologies like this. So you're happily invited to contact me, or you can contact Bernard if you're interested in a demo, which we could then do online if you want to have a data evaluation, or if you would love to see a system like this in action with one of our customers. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Robert. That was extremely interesting. I know Robert for a while because also at last Parcel and Post Expo, for example, he joined one of our panels there, and the audience was quite impressed by how you actually can solve maybe traffic jams in the city, which is not only a postal and logistics issue. Let me ask a question to the speakers of this session. I mean, we have seen what is possible when you have intelligent routing and what kind ever. What kind of costs you can reduce, how much more efficient or faster you can be, how much you can increase the quality for your customers. Still, we see that many postal logistics companies struggle with this topic. Why? What is the challenge? Why is it so difficult to implement really an intelligent route optimization? What would you say is the biggest challenge here? Who wants to start? Roland, maybe
Okay,
you.
I can start, no problem.
Go. Perfect, Diana, please.
Okay. So usually our biggest challenges is you are dealing with human beings. Even though we optimize the routes on a daily basis, we face several problems, shutdowns of cars. Sometimes there are certain things that happen, obstacles, force majeure, all the things that we do, even all the planning that we usually set, they can to these factors. So this is why, even though we have all this business intelligence, and even though we strive to do the best, sometimes these external factors, they can affect us, as Robert said, also traffic jams and everything. So these are also not considered a lot during our planning, and sometimes they can affect us big time. So this is why we always face issues at this level.
Yeah. Ella, are you with us?
Yes, I am here.
What is your view? What do you see as the biggest challenges in implementing such a system?
Definitely, it is real cost efficiency, but I could not definitely say how much. But the challenging thing for us to provide the optimization of quality service and meet the expectation of customer in all postal global postal chain. So it gives us the opportunity to provide the optimization of these challenging things today. Yes, that's it.
Yeah, I mean, Robert, you have been working with quite some postal logistics companies, but also others from retail and so on. I mean, when you get in touch with them and when you start the discussions, I mean, you see what they are battling with, what their issues are. What do you think is the biggest challenge for a postal logistics companies from your point of view, the outside point of view, inside who comes with a solution? Why is it so difficult to have a route optimization tool implemented?
I think in the beginning there are two different factors. So one thing is when you get in touch with an organization and you introduce a system like we provided, then you have to deal with their past experiences with those kind of technology. And what we learned is that in the past 20, 30 years, they wanted to implement some technologies and they could not reap the benefits they targeted. So when we began, a standard thinking was that it's not practical, you can't practically use this. So that was the first and biggest thing to distracting potential customers from trying something new. And another thing is that postal organizations not always have strong project leaders. So when you implement a technical system which is going deep into the processes of an organization, you need very strong project leadership and a sponsor high in the organization who really helps to move all people who are involved in a project like this in the right direction. So to sum up, strong project management is a must to implement a technology like this.
Perfect. Thank you very much, Robert, Ella, and Diana. Let's move on to the next session. As I said in the beginning, third session is going to be urban logistics, and this is now really a topic that is so important for everybody, simply because there are many new trends in this area. But whenever we talk about urban logistics, we also talk about traffic jams, pollution, waste, and all these kind of things. All these kind of things that are discussed a lot. Localization of business. Now we have invited here two postal operators to share their views on some of their projects in that area. The first one is Correos, and the second one is La Poste. May I first hand over to Santiago Munoz of Correos y Telegrafos, who will share a little bit about what Correos is doing in that area and also about Postal CIT project. Please, Santiago.
Okay, thank you, Bernard. I hope everyone can see my screen.
Yes.
Right, perfect. Well, thank you, Bernard, and thank you to the PUMed to give us the floor and exchange and share our experience with these projects. For us in Correos, we have a clear ambition to reach in 2030, and that means that we want to bring together people, but not at any cost. We want to do it by being carbon neutral with no waste to landfill, getting the most of technology, and also, as someone of you have mentioned before, being a key player in the rural areas. As it has been already mentioned, urban logistics is a powerful bunch of tools that could be really, really helpful to put the customer in the middle and provide the best option. Because at the end of the day, when we are talking about urban logistics, we are talking about new vehicles technology, route optimization, and also network. How to mix how to put all together and provide the best solution is the challenge of this approach. Regarding this, we have been leading a couple of European projects to make some research and put all this together in not just one optimization project, not just changing the technology of the routes, not just analyzing the network, but putting all together. And this project was called Postal Fit, and it was very interesting because it strengthened our position in communities. As all postal operators know here, that we have a huge local presence, and this is it was great to have to confirm that our network is the best approach, and because during the project we were contrasting different networks, trying to put the depot outside the city and make a two-step delivery with bigger trucks and then small vans, try to move big trucks from the outside of the urban area to the city center and then delivery by riders. And at least from the theoretical point of view, no one of these delivery models were better than the one that we have already, and that this model that we all postal operators we have. We also analyze how we can get the most of this network through the less environmental harmful vehicle technology. We were making a lot of tests with electric vehicles, putting GPIs, and also not only gathering information from their position and their behavior in the routes, but also how the people are driving. If they are using good use of the fuel, if they are making eco-friendly driving or not. finally, we were also exploring the route optimization that Robert already explained, and it's true that our pilots shown that we can reach a reduction of 25% of the distance, and for me, at least in this project, was the main insight is that the productivity of the newcomers are rapidly increased, because it's true that in a postal network, if you arrive to a delivery unit and you have to deliver 100 items per day, and if you don't know the area, it's really challenging for these first days. The other project I want to share with you is Senator. This project is, I would say, that goes a step beyond to the traditional route control of the postal operator. What we want to build here is a control tower for the whole urban logistics in a specific urban area. Maybe Robert can exchange some experience here with us. That our approach is that, okay, we can get the most of our network if we run these optimization algorithms, but what could we get if we put all networks together and we melt them in just one network? So if we share the resources and we run these optimization processes, we are quite sure that we can get even more and better results than just optimizing our networks. And also will provide us to have new ways to deliver in the urban areas, always having in mind that our final objective is to provide the best service to our customer. This is the main objective of this project, and that's all from my side. Thank you very much, and I'll be happy to answer some questions after the presentations.
Thank you very much, Santiago. Very interesting, this practical example. Now it's a good continuation from the presentation which we just did before. Let's move to the second speaker in this session, who is Emmanuel Bonneau. He's the Director General of Geopost Home Logistics, URBI, of Le Groupe La Poste. Emmanuel?
Yes. Can you hear me? Is it okay?
We can hear you loud and clear.
Very good, very good. And I will try to share now the presentation. I was very glad to hear. I tried to put it full screen if it works. Is it okay?
Perfect.
Good. Yeah, I was very interested in what you just mentioned from Correos about the other projects and Senator project and so on. Well, let's speak now about the urban logistics strategy and projects from Groupe La Poste. Shortly to present, we are URBI, a subsidiary of Groupe La Poste. I will explain in what context and what's the positioning of URBI. We, of course, speak about urban logistics. Well, urban logistics, I wanted to make the presentation quite lively with some pictures and to share the issue in all the major big cities, in France, of course, but elsewhere as well. You can see on the left a picture. It's in Toulouse, in the real city center of Toulouse, just to share that the issue on urban logistics is not only with the parcels and the post, but mostly with all the pallets, all the heavy goods that are delivered all day long in the city, and that create a lot of issues. You can see the small point with the truck on the bottom right, mentioning that most of the trucks are half empty when they enter the city. And it's really a major point when it comes to pallets and heavy goods. You know, we can, as postal operators, parcel operator, do massification of the flows, but the big trucks are dedicated quite often to a retailer, to a transporter, and they are not optimized. So that's the issue and that's the context. About La Poste regarding urban logistics, it has always been a major concern for Groupe La Poste, of course, but then we accelerated about 5-6 years ago the strategic program dedicated to urban logistics, and we focused a lot first on vehicles. I think we have still the biggest of, or one of the biggest electric fleets of vehicle in the world, whatever the business is, you know. So it's still with I think 12 or 13,000 electric vans, a major electric fleet. Then we of course develop as well on biogas vehicles and so on. So the first part was vehicles. The second one is about the plants, the logistics plants, the sites in the city. You know, we, like a lot of logisticians, we went further away and further away through the years, through the decades from the city, because the prices were extremely expensive. It was very difficult to find places, and we had to do this huge work of replacing our sites inside the city and reinvent our sites to better operate the last mile. You cannot operate the last mile if you live, if you deliver from 15, 20 kilometers far from the city. If you want to be efficient, cost effective, and to have better impact on the environment, you need to be inside the city. So you can see on the different pictures 2 examples of urban logistics hubs, which we call hotel, because we call them hotels because they're inside the city, and it's in time sharing and space sharing between different operators. You see what I mean? If you look at the bottom one is in Toulouse, the upper one is in Paris. They are under construction. The objective of that is that it's operated by La Poste. Of course, you will have some vans from La Poste operating in the plant, but we will welcome as well vans and operations from competitors, so that's to better mutualize all the operations for the city, or the urban logistics deliveries. So that's all the major projects at the moment regarding Group La Poste on urban logistics. I would like to stress on our experience at the moment, which is Urbi. And Urbi, its strong focus, its main focus is to address the pallets, the big parcels, all the heavy goods that we usually, being postal operators, don't address in the city and which are not correctly mutualized. So we launched Urbi 2 years ago. We now, in this very particular, very special year, will address about 50,000 pallets per month, with a turnover of about 10 million euro this year. And so what we do, if you look at the different pictures, we welcome the trucks, the linehauls from the big carriers at night. In the early morning, you can see Jeffco in the up left corner, and we take out the goods from the trucks. We do cross-docking, we mutualize in small hubs next to cities, and then after we go and deliver in the city with either cargo bike. You can see a cargo bike here, but we have also a large range of small vans to bigger vans. Of course, all of them are electric or with natural gas, so that we deliver in the city. One last thing maybe to mention regarding Urbi is that it was designed by La Poste and launched by La Poste. We did a fundraising last year, very special one, because it's the French government through Caisse de Dépôt who took a share in Urbi. And now we continue to open the shares to local partners, so that we want it to be something really global, but at the same time really local, to have partnership with the local government bodies and local carriers and transporters or other operators. That's it from me. I don't know, I hope it's clear, and I hope you have some questions. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Emmanuel. You said something very interesting there, that posts in the past moved away more and more from the city centers. They moved away from yeah, from any, they centralized somewhere at some points, and then from there everything was distributed with long distances, if you want. So is the new movement that we are seeing now, is this the localization, the relocalization, getting local again? Is this the trend, the game changer for the next 2 years, which we are seeing here, or how would you see this localization? I ask now you and Santiago in particular, but anybody can reply, of course.
It's a key point. It's a key point. You cannot. Everybody speaks about delivery by cargo bikes or whatever, but if you have your plants, your site far away, 15 kilometers from the inner city, you cannot deliver with cargo bikes. So you have to find new plants, new sites, and it's very complicated. It's very expensive. It's very difficult to collaborate with the housing, with the offices, with the shops and whatsoever. So we really need to reinvent. And we did a lot of tests, on Park Place, being on small places outside, or being on the back of the postal offices. Well, it's a key point to address.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but I cannot switch on my camera. I had some technical issues. My apologizes. But it's true what Emmanuel is saying. I don't know if local is going to. We will see in 10 years that everybody is outside of the city. In 10 years, more everybody is in the city. You don't really know. The point is that you need to design your delivery network, having all this in mind, and to try to get the best situations for your delivery, because it's not the same to deliver letters than delivery pallets. And if we want to be flexible, we have to deal with this and design a good mix of locations, because every delivery has a very specific requirements.
In this context, how important is sharing? I mean, when I understand, Emmanuel, your strategy is really sharing. So it's a space that's not now particularly La Poste's place. It's really shared. Other logistics companies shall join in. I mean, if you do it this way, apparently to me it seems that you're solving a big issue, because otherwise everybody would build something and you have the same issue again. But your strategy is sharing.
Yeah, just because, if we want to have very good locations, if you ask the local government bodies and you say you want 20,000 square meters for La Poste, it's difficult to obtain. If you present the same project, but if you say if it's for us, but not only we will share it with other transporters, then you as a city, you will save some space for other activities. And then it's very useful for them. And then after, for us, of course, we open our premises to competitors, but at the same point, we are the operators. We lead the strategy on this, and sometimes we know that for parcel delivery, for example, we start in the morning operations at 6 and we will finish at 9. And after the vans and the city bikes are around in the city. But then after you have other activities like for food or for press, the time schedule are not the same. So you could share the space, so it can be very cost effective.
Do we see something similar in some other posts? I'm just asking, I'm curious, who else is doing something similar, having depots, having local space built to be shared also with competitors? Is there anybody else doing that?
Yes, we in Correos, we are trying to do the same with other companies, first with our subsidiaries, because as Emmanuel said, we have time slots that we don't have very high activity, and we can use that places for sorting or for routes and so on. It's for location is key, because there are not two best locations at the cities. We have heavy constraints for spaces, and it has no sense at the end of the day to build two different networks, one post office of Correos and one post office of the competitor, and at the same place, because you are doubling the space and you are not getting the most of your network.
Yeah, Emanuela, I've seen, I mean, you have pointed it out, there were a couple of your competitors in that list, even DHL, for example. How open are those other posts to cooperate on such a basis? I mean, in particular now, the big ones that usually have their own infrastructure, but do you see that there is an openness to cooperate this way, use your facilities?
Well, it's just about real estate, you know. Then after, each of us, we are big actors, we have our process, our strategy, and we will operate and compete on our own. But then after, if it's good for La Poste and if it's good for DHL, why not cooperate? And it's the same for URB, you know. URB, we transport for the last mile some goods from our competitors. We transport some DHL logistics pallets or big parcels, because if they don't mutualize well, it costs them a lot to address the last mile delivery. And if we have flows from other transporters, we can gather them, we can mutualize, and then it's cost effective for us and it's cost effective for them. But we are still competitors.
Yeah, I don't imagine that will change, of course.
Of course.
Okay, anybody else who wants to add something at this point, or maybe ask also a question? If that is not the case, anybody of PUMed who wants to maybe say some final words or considerations at the end of this conference, maybe? Yes, Chandan, please.
Yeah, actually, it was so quite interesting to listen all those presentations. So I'd like to thank each one of the presenters for this session. Actually, those are very good practices. We can learn from them actually, and we can take the good examples to make some kind of similar application in our designated operators. So, and I think it is good to have this kind of initiative and this kind of conferences in the future. But let me tell you about the competition. So there's a big competition, of course, in the postal sector everywhere. So as the designated operators are, making some investment for their infrastructure, but sometimes in nowadays, actually, the big e-commerce platform providers are creating their own delivery networks. So they are becoming our big competitor in this case. So, and you are they are also the the customer of the customers of the designated operators. They are asking more quality and more speedy service, but in another way they are being the competitor of yours for the delivery purpose, as the delivery network. So maybe this could be the another the topic for another conference, I don't know. But it was great to hear all these speakers. Thank you, and Bernard, it was great for you to organize such a conference. So, and we are looking forward to hear your webinars in the future. So we are making we are informing our members about your program about the webinars. So thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, Chandan, very much for this. Let me also thank you here, PUMed in general, the speakers in particular, and also the participants here. Again, I share your views, Chandan. We had a lot of input, a lot of food for thought. And as we said in the beginning, the idea is that the posts learn from each other, get ideas, see what's going on, look at some trends, and maybe everybody comes out of these kind of events and says, okay, there is something in it for me. I've seen this one solution, this one product, this one approach, and I like it. I think that can work in my organization as well. Everybody benefits. So thank you very much again to everybody, in particular to PUMed for hosting this event, and everybody, a good day. Goodbye. Thank you.
Good day. Good day.
Bye.
Thank you very much.
Good.